Okay.
Do we have to push
Annie,
these to talk?
we have to push this to speak.
Do we have to push the button? It should be on.
Oh,
Okay.
we're on. Okay.
Okay.
good.
There, it's on
All right.
there. Today, we're presenting the Arhaus catalog, and we're happy to be here to explain all the behind-the-scenes ins and outs of what created this 200-page catalog. This past ADDY's, we won the Judges Choice and a gold award for this piece.
So basically, with every catalog, the goal of Arhaus is to present. They usually have new product as well as of their existing products. So there's always thematics that they bring into the store, which they consider their living catalog, as well as the catalog that we create. So in this particular thematic, they went with one of the thematics was Flemish paintings.
And they wanted to, when they do have a theme, they want to start off with the introduction of a Flemish, in this case, a Flemish look. And they also want to break up the book with dividers. In this case, it was apothecary and a Gatsby look, to go with their industrial-themed furniture and their upholstered furniture.
Usually these themes are a reflection of what's happening on the interior of all the stores. So the creative director at Arhaus has a whole visual setup of each Arhaus store, and what we're doing is reflecting that visual theme that are on the interiors of the stores. For example, this shows how the furniture was actually shot on an exterior of a location.
So to carry through the thematics of all what the creative director is looking for, there's always an extensive search for the photo shoots. Usually they're here in Cleveland. Ideally, they're in empty homes that are for sale, but sometimes it'll be at a home where somebody is existing and lives, and for a week they are uprooted and every piece of their house is removed and the photo shoot moves in. So this is a good example of the process that is the search for the different homes, and then it's presented to the creative director. But we've also shot out of state. We've shot in industrial lofts. We've shot in. This is an example of this mansion was in Kirtland. I apologize. So this was in Kirtland. This was an enormous property. It even had a helicopter pad, and this is a private home, believe it or not.
Right.
So.
Right, as Brian mentioned, we used to shoot in Florida and South Carolina, and what we've discovered is that if you really look around the Cleveland area, there's a lot of really unique spaces, and this is my personal favorite part of the whole catalog, is to watch the homeowners just see their whole space be reinvented with amazing Arhaus furniture. So every stitch of their very belongings are in trucks, and then they're all standing around watching 120 people moving their things in and out, and then when they see their new room reinvented, it's really amazing for them.
And the process that, when they are moving the people out of their homes, it's fascinating. Every single shelf, every single table is all photographed. So then when the photo shoot is done, everything is put exactly back to where it was. You would never know that this huge production that literally uproots them for a week had even happened. So this is a brief video that Kalman and Paps, the photo studio that we've worked with on the catalog, put together. And this just shows you, this was shot at the Western Reserve Historical Society. And this actually should be a video.
Yeah, do you know if they can, this is a video.
However, so this is a kind of a stop motion video that they created of the process of moving in, sets going from empty room to being filled with the product. The photo shoots are just a veritable beehive of activity of the designers, the photographers, the client, the photo assistants, the stylists, the movers, caterers. It's incredible. And I think they're checking to see if it's going to work.
While they're checking that, maybe you could tell us what the biggest challenge was with this project.
I think the biggest challenge is that it's constantly a shifting thematic that's happening. They'll come to us with, we want to do this, and we'll, be creating and planning for one thematic, but just like, our house is retail, and retail is constantly shifting, and decisions are always changing up until the last minute, and so it's always a tight timeline, and I know that that's always kind of, when we think we're there, we're not. This is true with any project. I think anybody would understand.
Right, a lot of times we have to start, it's like 3 weeks we have, so with the photography, layout, going down a road with a certain direction, and then, the CEO might say, I don't like that direction, and he might want a different theme, so then we have to get back on the bike and do a whole new direction, and that's a lot of design work on top of coordinating the photography coming in, doing the layout, and price changes, SKU changes, dimension changes for all the product.
There's a lot of detail.
It's like a tsunami.
And you have to understand, too, the photo shoots are happening while the design is happening. They're not segmented. So literally, Ann and I will be on the photo shoots. The day we do the shoots, those photos are uploaded to the photo studio. The next day, John, back in the office, is getting the low-res versions, placing them into the layout, and literally the next day we are bringing them to the set. So it is a constant moving, overlapping process. It's not,
Right.
First we shoot, then we design. It's all several moving wheels. So
Right.
I think we're queued up.
So, no video? Okay.
Oh, it's not working. All right.
It's not working.
So, some of these shots will give you an idea of just the boxes and the trucks and the people that literally take over. And this is a very large home, so you can see that.
Right, they don't look at or consider homes smaller than 8,000 square feet.
So if any of you have a home you're willing to offer.
Yeah. Right. But this home happened to be for sale, so they wanted the publicity of the Arhaus shoot. And they actually got a number of articles, one in the Cleveland Plain Dealer, about the Arhaus furniture taking over the space. This is an example how the art director will actually approve and will make changes to the set right there.
That process around the computer that you just saw is a very integral part of the process, because not only is the art director looking to see that he likes what product is in there and how it's placed, we're looking at it from a technical standpoint of crops and bleeds and crossover. Mm-hmm. So many pieces and parts.
Yeah, and this is just an idea about when we do go on set, or when Kyle and Brian and Ann go on set. They're in a home and they're going outside, and there's various photographers at different points of the property, and then we put together grid pages like this to feature specific products.
Right.
I think one interesting thing, too, you never look at a catalog the same way again. You're used to just flipping through, flip, and now being on the other side where we've worked on it, literally one spread is one morning of work of 100 people working on it, that one image, and then several post-production hours after that because of all the Photoshop work that goes into one shot, just taking away the gear and the light stands, as well as a lot of times the art director will totally change the color of the walls. He'll not like the tile in the room. Let's make that a wood floor. The post work that the photo studio does is pretty incredible.
Where would you get?
Microphones everywhere.
Wow.
Everybody hear me now?
All right, I'm loud anyway, so that's all right. What would you describe the eureka moment during the concepting the process for this project? Was there a eureka moment of where you guys got to where you were at?
I would say not really. This thing's moving so fast, and once we build it, and you'll see it, once we have the whole catalog laid out and thumbnails, it's moving around. They're positioning the photos for the most recent furniture. The current furniture that they shoot fresh, and themes are changed just depending on the buyers chiming in and saying what is their best seller.
So,
Yeah, again, it just comes into all the different parties that are played in. They're not only us, the photographers, but the creative director, but like John just said, and then there's the buyers who are the ones that are able to say, well, that hasn't sold, this is selling better. So it almost becomes this political game on their end of placement and what pieces of older photography are going to come back into the catalog and what pieces are not, and they know what sells and what doesn't sell. So.
We do have a question. We have a question from Wise Advertising. How, if at all, has Pinterest helped Arhaus Furniture leverage and extend the life of all of the assets that you guys helped to create?
I think very much so. I think just because of Arhaus very much is a trendsetter. The creative director and his team literally travel the world. They're constantly in India, China, France, Italy, Indonesia. So they're always on the forefront of what's happening and what's out there. And through their use of Pinterest, I think they're not only picking up on the trend before it happens, but they're very much, I believe, setting the trend.
Right. They have a whole team of photo stylists that I think they rely on Pinterest quite a bit. This next category is the feature shots, which this might not have been a eureka moment, but it was a fun event that Arhaus offers a great sofa which has a washable slip cover. So they wanted to really sell that product line that you can put 1, 2, 3 dogs on this slip cover and then take it apart and wash it, and it looks just as if. And this is an example. That's Brian. We're all around the photo shoot. One of those little doggies is mine. So we feel part of this team, and the whole washable slip cover. We thought this was a great way to just get the message across that 85% of us out there have dogs, and that you can have your dog up on this couch and take the slip cover off, and it's just like new.
Right.
White dogs, black dogs, mixed, whichever, big, small. So it was a lot of fun.
And I think that's a good example of the creative energy and synergy that happens. We were on the set talking about, the creative director said something like, oh, well, I know my dogs are always all over the couch, so we're like, well, why not bring in dogs? And so that literally happened on the set, unplanned, and within a day, everybody had their dogs there on the set. So
Right.
that's a good example of a eureka moment, too. Just like, well, why not? Let's just do it.
Yeah, 3 of the dogs were the Arhaus creative director's
Right.
dogs himself. So that made it fun. It's just a fun group to work with. This is just a detail shot. Some of these homes are literally amazing, but this was everyone trying to tame the dogs. And it was pretty incredible, that they didn't bark and get into a big dog fight, but we all got along and it pulled off the shot. Setting up bedrooms outside on an exterior porch. We work very closely, as we mentioned, with the stylists in these photos. And then the task of laying out the pages. As Brian mentioned also, all these photos are just streaming over to John, who's the lead designer and lays out the 200 pages with all these photos.
Yeah, the photos come in right after they shoot. If they shoot on a Monday, I'll get images on Tuesday morning, and I'll start loading spreads up. And as they're coming in, and then also separating what I feel is going to be used as grid pages, where I'll put a number of photos on one page as opposed to a big glamorous spread. And this shows you the expanse of the backup.
Sorry.
The expanse of how we laying out the whole book, see it, and they like to see it in this form so they could see color, see what furniture looks good grouped together, and it's based on style and whatnot. And throughout the catalog, we have themes like this. Is they want to talk about their copper line, and so they want to see different layouts about how we would express their, show their copper line. And it just so happens all the monarch butterflies that you see exist in this one little village where they create their copper top tables, and so that is a big feature.
So if you're ever at a home that has our house copper top table, look, they always have a monarch stamp on them. That's the signature. So, and that the photo of that, the individual in that last spread, he's the artisan that creates them, and that's another example of just the passion that they have for their product. They worked directly with these small artisans that create their pieces, for this national, even international company. So it's a lot of it's about learning about the process of what they do so that we can translate their story. Because the catalog, in a sense, is telling their story annually.
These are indications of the spreads that are more thematic and more conceptual design-wise.
Right. You can see when we first started the presentation, we started with a Flemish theme, and then the CEO said he would like something more calm and pastoral, basically more natural looking, and so we went with like calming areas, which was kind of nice breakup for the book because you're blasted with spreads of a lot of detail and furnitures.
That was the setup. Now it's shown without the dogs. And American barns, they get a lot of reclaimed wood from across the country.
Right.
I think overall the challenge of every catalog is, like I said, telling the story, but also it's utilitarian, figuring out how they want to show the pricing. Sometimes we've gone through phases where all the information is on the spread with the photos, and then we've experimented with all the information being in sections more towards the back. So again, just with that concept of the retail and the retail experiments are always affecting what the catalog is doing and how the catalog is communicating to the customer. So that's always our challenge, is adapting to what their goals are with how they want to communicate to their audience.
What you're looking at here is the cover shot of a photo shoot that was used for the cover image. So, Johnny?
This was buyer influenced. That club sofa is a big seller, and the CEO wanted to, after we shot various covers while we were on different locations, he came in and wanted the club sofa shot, and we went out with his location, and this is the final outcome.
Image on the left shows reality, image on the right shows the retouched version. So a lot of retouching is going on in this catalog.
Nothing is real.
And also, based on the cover that's finally chosen, then we have to show options about how we're going to intro the book. And so these are various layouts.
Design options, and you can see actually none of these were the ones, so you can see the number and rounds of different design options we present to the client. Last but not least, we want to say that it's a huge catalog, and the whole firm kind of jumps in for many, many rounds of changes. It's a big team effort, and we were happy to get our little puzzle in the mail, and we all pitched in and put it together, and this was the easiest part of the job, putting that puzzle together.
Definitely. But literally, it's pretty symbolic and poetic, because this catalog is the ultimate puzzle of,
Right.
From a design perspective as well as client relations. Just it's always a balancing act of communication.
We have one more question for you. What will you remember from this project moving forward?
I think we always say every time that we do it, we learn something more, and we feel like we hone the process, because it's, like I said, it's just always changing, and there's always new factors. Again, that's not unique just to Arhaus; it's with any client.
Right.
But I think it's learning the culture and keeping up with the fast pace of the changes. Again, I think it's that retail factor, because it's so fast.
Right, and just the quality that is Arhaus furniture, it's kind of neat, and it's fun to learn about all their internal vendors. I mean, that it's reassuring to know, even though it's so expensive, that the owner of the company actually does go to Mexico, and he actually does work with artisans, and there is a nice, strong quality base behind this furniture. So I guess that's the takeaway, that what you see in the store actually has a history behind it.
Yeah, there's certainly, I do find myself defending them more than I ever did when people are like, oh, it's so expensive. I'm like, but there's a reason. Those sofas are 8-way tied. I didn't even used to not know what that meant, but there is such a quality in every piece that they do, and it's not just marketing. It's true. They really do seek out what's up and coming and the newest items and stand behind their product.
One of the good parts, though, of this project is it teaches you how to stay organized, focused, and work very fast. I mean, after this comes out and another project comes in, it's a piece of cake. Because this thing will put you through the ringer.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we want to thank you guys for coming up here and talking about your project.